Hello, good day. How are you today? You're good, right? Okay. Are you ready for today's lesson? You are? That is good. So today in mathematics, we are going to be looking at measurements of shapes, okay? Measurements of shapes. So are we ready for the lesson? In today's lesson, we are going to be looking at two-dimensional shapes and three-dimensional shapes, okay? We're going to be looking at how to measure these shapes, their perimeter, their length, breadth, area, okay? So are we ready? We're with our books and our pencils and pens to get into today's lesson. Okay, great. So first we're going to be looking at two-dimensional shapes, known as 2D, okay? Two-dimensional shapes are flat and have no thickness or depth. They are made up of points, lines, and curves that are confined. 2D shapes, their sides are equal, okay? So we're going to be looking at three types of 2D shapes: square, rectangle, and triangle. Okay? So we have the square. This is a square. A square is a 2D shape with all four sides equals and four right angles, okay? Four right angles and all four sides are equal. Then we have the rectangle. This is a rectangle. Don't confuse the square with a rectangle, okay? It also has four sides where the opposite sides are equal. Okay? The opposite sides are equal. And all angles are right angles. Okay? Then we have the triangle. This is a triangle. A triangle is a 2D shape with three sides and three angles. One, two, three. It has three sides and three angles. Okay? So we're going to be looking at how to solve those shapes, their area, length, perimeter, okay? Are we ready? So first we're going to be looking at how to calculate the area of a square. So we are going to be learning how to calculate the area of a square, okay? The area of this square, the area is the amount of space this square occupies, okay? So to calculate the area of the square is length times length. The formula for calculating the area of the square is length times length. So we're going to be looking at some examples to know how to calculate the area of the square. Here is the length, here's the length, here's the length, here's the length, okay? Four sides are equal, so everywhere is the length. So example 1 says calculate the area of a square with 5 as the length. So here is length 5, 5, 5, 5. And the area, to calculate the area of the square, they said is length times length. So the area of the square, length times length, is equal to 5 times 5. And 5 times 5 is going to give us 25, okay? So the area of this square is 25. Do we understand? Let's look at another example. A square with a length of 8. Calculate the area. We are looking for the square. The length is 8. Here is 8. Here is 8. Here is 8. Here is 8. But we are looking for the square. And the formula says is length times length, right? So the area of the square is equal to length times length. We are looking for the area. So it's equals to 8 times 8. Length times length. 8 times 8. 8 times 8 is going to give you what? When you calculate it, 64, right? Good. So our answer is 64. The area of the square that the length is 8, the answer is 64, okay? Do we understand? Good. Here we have to calculate the length of a square, okay? The length of a square. How do we calculate the length of a square? The formula is equals to square root of the area. This is the length, right? We are looking for the length of the square. Now, when looking for the length of a square, that means the area is given, okay? The area of the square is given. So to calculate the length, to get the length is square root of the area, okay? If the area of a square is 25, calculate the length. Remember, the formula is square root of the area. So it's equals to, L is equals to 25. The area is 25, right? So the square root of 25 is equals to 5. Why? Because 5 times 5 is going to give you 25. Okay? Do you understand that? Good. So you understand how we got 5, right? So the length is equals to 5. Our answer is 5. We're looking for the length. And looking for the length of a square is square root of the area. The area is given, which is 25, and the square root of 25 is 5, because 5 times 5 will give you 25. So our answer is 5, okay? So the length of the square, that is area, is 25. The length is 5, 5, 5, 5. Do you understand? Good. So next question. The area of a square is 49. Calculate the length. Here the area of the square is 49. We're looking for the length. So its length equals to square root of the area, and the area here is 49. So it's equals to L, which is length, is equals to the square root of 49. What is the square root of 49? Think of two numbers that when it multiplies itself is going to give you 49. What is that number? 7, right? So 7 times 7 is going to give you 49. So the length of the area of a square, that is 49, the answer is 7, okay? Is what? 7. Because 7 times 7 will give you 49. Okay, do you understand? So a square that the area is 49, the length is 7. Okay? Good. We're going to be looking at another example. Here, calculate the perimeter of a square. We have looked at how to calculate the area of the square. We have looked at how to calculate the length of a square. Now we're going to be looking at how to calculate the perimeter of a square. To get the perimeter of the square, the formula is L plus L plus L plus L, which is length plus length plus length plus length, which is equals to 4L, okay? You can say the formula is 4L or L plus L plus L. Do you understand? So we're going to be looking for the perimeter of the square, okay? So when looking for the perimeter of a square, you are looking for the total distance of all the sides, okay? The total distance of all the sides. So we're going to be looking at some examples to help us know how to solve the perimeter of a square, okay? A square with a side length of 6 centimeters, we are to find the perimeter, okay? The length here is 6 centimeter, the length is 6 centimeter, the length is 6 centimeter, the length is 6 centimeter. We are looking for the perimeter. So the perimeter of a square is L plus L plus L plus L, which is length plus length plus length plus length, okay? And the length is 6 centimeters, so it's 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6. So when you add the 6 together, what will you have? If you add 6 plus 6 plus another 6 plus another 6, what is going to be your answer? 24, right? Good. Or you can use this pattern, which is 4L. And 4L is 4 times the length, okay? And the length is 6. So 4 times 6. 4 times 6 is still going to give you 24. So whichever method you want to use is the same answer you will arrive at, okay? Do you understand? It's the same answer you're going to arrive at. So the answer is 24. The perimeter of a square, that the length is 6 centimeter, the perimeter is 24. Okay? Let's look at another example. If you have a square with a side length of 9 inches, calculate the perimeter. We're looking for the perimeter of a square that the length is 9 inches. To calculate the perimeter, we use the formula, okay? L plus L plus L plus L, which is length plus length plus length plus length. So the length here is 9. So 9 plus 9 plus 9 plus 9. When you add 9 plus 9 and add another 9 and add another 9, what is going to be your answer? 36, right? So the answer is 36. You can use this other way, which is 4L, meaning 4 times L, and L here is 9 inches, so 4 times 9 is going to give you what? 36, right? So using this pattern or using this pattern is still the same thing, whichever is easier for you, okay? Do you understand? So we have looked at how to solve the area of a square, the length of a square, and the perimeter of a square, right? Good. Now let's look at how to calculate the area of a rectangle. How can we calculate the area of a rectangle? To calculate the area of a rectangle, we are going to be using this formula, which is area of a rectangle is equals to length times width, which can be seen as L times L. So this is a rectangle, right? To calculate the area of this rectangle, the amount of space this rectangle occupies, we are using the formula L times W, which is length times width. Most cases, you can see length times breadth is still the same thing. Breadth and width is still the same thing, okay? Do you understand? Good. So we're going to be looking at some examples to help us understand better. Calculate the area occupied by a classroom board of size by 6 meters and by 10 meters. You know, a classroom board is like a rectangle, right? It's a rectangle shape. Okay, so we are looking for the area, the amount of space this board occupies, okay? The length is 6 meters and the width is 10 meters. We have to calculate the area it occupies. Looking for the area of a rectangle, which is a classroom board, is L times W, which is length times width. So L times W, we impute our numbers into the formula, okay? L, which is the length, is 6 meters. So we impute 6. And W, which is the width, is 10 meters. We impute 10. So 6 times 10 is going to give us what? When you calculate 6 times 10, what is going to be your answer? 60, right? So we have 60 meters square. How did we have a square in meters? It's because meter times meter is going to give you meter square. So we have 60 meters square. Okay? Good. So next we're going to be looking at calculating the length of a rectangle. So to calculate the length of a rectangle, which is this is the length of a rectangle, right? To calculate it, the formula is length equals to area over width. That means in your question, the area will be given and the width will be given. You are looking for the length here. Okay? So the formula is length equals to area over width. Let's look at an example to help us understand better. A rectangle area is 60 and a breadth of 5. Calculate the length. The area of this rectangle is 60 and the breadth is 5. Here is 5. We are looking for here the length. Okay? So we are going to be using this formula to calculate the length. So length is equals to area over width. We impute our numbers into the formula. The area here is 60, right? So 60 over the width is 5, which is also the breadth. Okay, remember I told you width and breadth is the same thing. So it's 5. So L is equals to 60 over 5. Can this cancel itself and also 60 without a remainder? Yes. So 5 in 5 is 1 and 5 in 60 is what? If you use 5 to divide 60, what's going to be your answer? 12, right? Good. So the length of this rectangle is 12. The area is 60, the width here is 5, the length is 12, okay? Do we understand? Good.